As a writer, Kendall shares her thoughts on humanity through her personal On My Mind blog. Here's an excerpt from her piece, A Journey to Love. We need to allow humans to be human again. It is detrimental. When humans are stripped of their humanity, destruction is king and nothing we touch is spared. Even our planet, this beautiful spinning ball, cries out, broken, in response to our dehumanization and lovelessness. Her soil, poisoned with the centuries of blood spilled, humans killed. For what? Greed? Power? Control? Fear? When I close my eyes, I can almost envision what it would be like to have our humanity restored. I can almost imagine what it would feel like to have overwhelming love replace the overwhelming fear coursing through our veins. I can almost see it, and then the vision fades, blocked by generational pain, trauma, blood loss, and dehumanization. Who among us will decide this stops with me? To experience love within oneself, in community with one another, and in relation with our planet is worth the vulnerable journey we must take as individuals and a collective. The way forward is found within. Kendall C4.
So this is how we play the game. It's called Our Thought, Their Thought, or Remix. So Our Thought, when you think of word R, O-U-R, I don't know how you hear me saying it. Our Thought.
You still got the Baltimore accent.
Say that, I'm just like, I don't even, when I hear Baltimore people talk, I'm like, that's
how I am. That's how I am, because I've been in and out so much as an adult. I've lost some of it, but then like I'll be, because I'm really active on TikTok, and people be like, "Oh my God, are you from Baltimore?" I'm like,
yeah,
what did I say?
I don't hear Baltimore the way y'all hear Baltimore. I hear Baltimore, like
right.
Talking, I'm like, oh, they Baltimore, like.
But you know what? I think I am starting to pick up the subtle Baltimore accent, because that's what I have. Because one of the guys who was a contestant on Love Is Blind this season was from Baltimore, and I was like, I see it, I hear it. Yeah. It's like
do and do is usually the words that stand out for people, but I'm like, I don't know. Hear it. I hear everybody else's accent. I can hear a country accent. I'm just talking.
I did a TikTok like last year sometime that went viral, and I was talking about fruit, and people were like, "You say fruit weird," and I was like, "No, I don't." And they were like, "Oh, I know where she's from. Can you say too?" I was like, "I'm not. I am not your puppet."
Right. All right, so I'm gonna play something, and in order to determine, because some of them are going to be videos and some of them are going to be quotes, what is Our Thought, Their Thought, or Remix, we're going to decide together what we think their primary objective was with sharing this idea. So the author
is this going to make me mad? Because
some of it might, I'm not sure, because these are all unpopular opinions, and I try to make it around humanitarian things that's going on in the world.
Lord Jesus. Okay.
We'll see. Hopefully not too much, but I'll start with the quotes. They're pretty gentle.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to put a quote in the chat, and you are just going to read it out loud. And then for this one, we should be okay with understanding what their primary goal was.
Okay.
So this one comes for Quora. It is an online forum talking about stuff. And I put unpopular opinions on humanitarian.
Okay, you want me to read it out loud? Uh-huh. We are incapable of peace. World peace and non-violence should be aspired to as a goal, but to expect it or to want everyone to demilitarize completely is a pipe dream. We are terrible, violent creatures at times, but we should keep trying for more. Jesus Christ.
All right, so is it Our Thought, which means you completely agree with everything, Their Thought, it belongs totally to the author, or Remix? There's some things you agree with or some things just you don't. Now, so I'm going to guess what I think you're going to say. So I'm going to say you put Remix. Don't say nothing yet. We're going at the end. You can.
Okay.
All right. So here's the next one.
Nobody is ever completely correct. There are thousands of religions, belief systems, groups/organizations, government structures, and personal identities. None of them will ever satisfy everyone. Humans believe in large part in what makes them happy, hopeful, and or satisfied with their current condition. When an idea inspires someone, resounds with their upbringing, or helps justify their faults and shortcomings, people will latch onto it.
I want to say you put Our Thought.
Oh, wait. That's what I meant to put.
Okay, good.
All right, because that means I agree with it. Okay, yes. That's what I agree with.
All right, I'm about to send you the video we're going to watch together.
Okay.
This is from Instagram. I'm gonna send it to your Instagram chat.
The LGBTQIA++ XYZ LMNOP MAP movement, they no longer stand for equality or inclusion. They stand for cultural dominance. And I really decided to step away once they started pushing hormones and castration and sterilization on children. Because guess what? When I was 9 years old, I used to sneak and wear my sister's cheerleading outfits. I've always loved hair and makeup. So if I had been born today in this modern LGBTQIA XYZ culture, they would have told me I'm in the wrong body. And they could have given me hormones. They could have mutilated me before I was 18 and knew what I was doing. So the reason I stepped away is because all I ask is the freedom to be gay, wear a wig, have a good time. My freedoms end where the freedoms of others begin. And that includes evangelical Christians. That includes people who say I'm going to hell, because I am a free speech absolutist. And if I want to have the free speech to, be crazy and have fun, then I have to defend the free speech of others. And so that's why in 2019, I just said enough is enough. This LGBTQIA+ movement is doing things in my name, so to speak, that I cannot tolerate.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do together because they're saying a lot. What do you think? Your feelings aside, because I'm supposed to guess, so you can't tell me the answer in your face expressions.
You know that's hard for me.
Your feelings aside, what do you think the author of this message main point was?
I think she doesn't want hormones. She doesn't think that like children should go through the life-changing process of like the permanent process of like changing their gender. There is emotional, there's changing your name, there's going by different pronouns, and there's like the chemical, physical process of that. And I think she's trying to say that she doesn't think that they should do that, but also that she thinks that the LGBTQ community is promoting that.
Okay. So with that,
like, even though she's a drag queen and she doesn't,
So with that main objective in mind, we're gonna go with our thought, their thought, or remix. And I'm gonna say remix for you. Oh wait, don't put that.
I didn't even choose yet. Give me a minute.
I'm gonna change my answer.
Okay.
You ready?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Remix. Okay. All right. Here is the next one.
Medicago's manufacturing facility looks like a nursery, but inside these plants, they're growing a new kind of vaccine. The technology is called a virus-like particle.
At Medicago, we use a careful step-by-step process to develop vaccines, using our plants as mini bioreactors. We start with the gene sequence or code of a virus. We then use our technology to synthesize the virus code into a real biological product. The code contains genetic instructions that our plants can read, and we insert it into bacteria called Agrobacterium tumefaciens. We submerge the plants in a bath with the bacteria that carries the information into the plant cells. And using a vacuum, we suck out the air between the plant cells and replace it with the liquid. The plants absorb it like a sponge. At the end of their bacterial bath, we return our plants to a carefully controlled greenhouse to let them get on with their natural growing business for at least 4 days. Now the plants will start producing the most important ingredient of our vaccines, virus-like particles.
What do you think the main objective of this video was?
They're trying to develop a plant-based COVID-19 vaccine, I'm assuming.
I would agree that they're trying to support the vaccine for those who are against it using the plant-based one.
Oh yeah, that's probably what it is for people who don't want yeah,
that's what I think the purpose of it. Do you agree with that as far as the So for our thought, their thought, or remix, do you have yours? I want to put their thought remix. Okay. So this next one that I sent these are two are real quick. It's just the first two that she says that we're going to do. So we're going to do two separate ones. And this one is from TikTok.
Unpopular opinions that shouldn't be unpopular because people won't accept that they're just facts. Starting this one off strong, skinny people do not get treated worse or as equal as fat people. You can say that body shaming goes both ways, but that does not mean that they're equal, because you can't sit up here and act like this. Skinny people don't get treated better than somebody who's bigger. And you skinny girls is like, why is it okay for them to make fun of me? Half of the time they're not making fun of you, and they're probably just clapping back at you, but you're so not used to getting clapped back at, and now it's body shaming and no one loves skinny girls. Fact number 2, the black community has issues with people that are different. People that like, for instance, K-pop, anime, style, different aesthetics. People who do stuff outside of the ghetto or the hood, I guess, are treated differently than the people who are narrative to that stereotype mostly.
All right, so the first one was about dang, I forgot.
She was talking about
Body shape.
yeah, skinny people don't get body shamed in the same way that thicker people do.
Okay, so you're gonna do one for that one alone.
Mhm.
You got your answer.
Mm-hmm.
Remix. Arthur. Okay. All right, for the next one, which was the black people thing.
Oh yeah, black people treat people who are different badly. Is that what it was? Like people who like anime and things like that.
Except black people who like things different than what they like.
Yeah. Okay.
Our thought. Yeah, I know. Okay. And here's the last video. It's probably about 2 minutes, and then after this, it'll be kind of done. We'll close it.
Black people, did you know that in 1973, Elijah Muhammad wrote The Fall of America? In that book, he warned black people that the American government was never going to solve our problems, and that if we did not separate and go do for self and build up our own nation, that we would be in the condition we're in today. The book came out 8 years after black people got the right to vote in 1965, so many of our people were actually mad at it and didn't believe in it because they still had false hope in this government due to the trick of integration. Fast forward to 2021, 56 years of voting, and we have absolutely nothing. We're still denied justice. Police brutality is the worst it's ever been. Our men overpopulate the prison. We're economically crippled. We have no generational wealth or substantial wealth at all, which contributes to the violence in our community. Not to mention the record labels that perpetuate violence in our communities towards black men, the degradation of our women. Black people have consistently chosen integration over separating and building our own, and so today, we're integrated. Our condition today reflects integration. We are so integrated that, as Minister Farrakhan says, we've become white people with black skin. We can't even recognize ourselves. America has no morals, no ethics, and her society has degraded down into nothing. There's no such thing as sin in America because everything goes, which is one of the biggest reasons as to why we're seeing the fall of America. So like I mentioned in my last video, a lot of us are saying that it's time to separate from America and really start building our own nation. But as Minister Farrakhan reminded us during the Nubian Leadership Circle Summit, which everyone should go watch, it's out on YouTube, that yes, land acquisition, independent education is super important, but a nation cannot last without righteousness. We have been amongst these people for so long, in a strange land amongst these strange people, that we have literally turned in something other than ourselves. The way we as the black community are today is not a reflection of our true nature. This is a reflection of integration. This is a reflection of 400 years of genocide. The fighting and killing of one another, the raping of our women, the sex trafficking and human trafficking of our own people. We are integrated. The sellouts in our community were so envious and jealous of one another that when one of us actually tries to get up and build something and do something for our community, somebody else comes and tears it down. So we cannot have a nation just because we physically separate from America. We have to mentally and spiritually separate from America. They robbed us of our history. They robbed us of our religion, which in turn robbed us of our love for self. So we can't love one another. Love for self is how we start nation building.
All right, so what do you think the main idea of this video was? I thought that she was saying that integration is the fall of the black nation.
I think it's that, but I also think she's trying to say, like, we need to separate from America
Okay.
in more ways than one.
So with that in mind, you're giving me an idea from this. Our thought, their thought, or remix. I'm for remix. Yeah. All right. So this is the end of the game. Is there any of the 7 that you want to go into a little bit more why you chose your answer?
Maybe the last one because it's the freshest one on my mind.
All right. So why did you choose remix for that one?
I think that she's partially she's making valid points, but we can never move backwards in life. We can only move forward. I think that there was a time when we should have probably separated physically, spiritually, and mentally. I know that this country placing indigenous people on reservations was incredibly harmful, but one thing it did do was help them preserve their culture. We integrated and lost ours. So there is definitely valid points. However, if they were like today, like, let's do that, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because our culture, it's again goes back to that generational healing that's needed, and we can't have those. We're not able to have those conversations yet because the amount of harmful, I do not like Farrakhan. Louis Farrakhan. I do not agree with most of the things he says. We need to unpack our internal misogyny, patriarchy, everything before we can do that. I also think like we need to break away from like this whole idea that Black capitalism will save us, because I fear that if we separate, that's what it would look like, and that's not going to save us. So there's like a lot. It's deep. It's really deep. There's valid points, but it's not that simple. And now this is our reality. So how do we move forward as a people? Yeah. Sorry, my dog is having a mental breakdown.
Oh, well, I'll let you go ahead and get to your dog. If you want to just close out with how people can connect with you and any last words before we go.
Yeah. So my main platform is probably TikTok. I post the most on TikTok. I'm a digital strategist, so I talk about like ethical and inclusive marketing practices. I talk about like humanity, just like kindness and trying to add some good into the world. I also have a website. It's kindlec4.com. And I'm also like a self-prescribed anarchist too, so that comes up a lot.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Hopefully we get to catch up a little bit more. There's so much to talk about, but
I know.
get your dog.
I will. He crazy.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Breathe.